Greetings, everybody out there in internet land. My name is Troy Bernier, and this is the Miami International Science Fiction Film Festival. And we have a awesome one for you today. Invited Mr. Daniel Pineros, short filmmaker, this season at MiSciFi, and let's bring him on. Danny, how you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Thank you. How are you?
Doing very well. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Same.
Let me bring here. Did the team send you the questions? I want to make sure you got those questions because.
Yes, I believe I got
Okay,
them.
great. And just want to get a few things in play here. Can you tell us a little bit about your film?
Yeah. So my film is about a couple that witnesses a paranormal event, meteor shower to be specific, and it splits them into two different dimensions. And it's how they deal with the obstacles that arise after that dimension split or that bisected.
That's right. They were bisected,
Exactly.
and that was a pretty interesting. It was a multi-dimensional kind of story. And just so folks understand, it's spelled Bisected. We actually have some photos here that we'd like to share with everybody. Hold on a second. Just bear with me here. So no, that's awesome. Now, folks do understand that this is a short film, and it's very short, to be honest. The film is only
7 minutes and 40 seconds.
only 7 minutes 40, under 8 minutes. So once again, short film, impressive storyline that's told. Telling a story in just a very short period of time. Not an easy thing to do. And Danny is able to put together a recipe and have this done. That by itself is an awesome accomplishment.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And can you explain a little bit about the location where the film is shot? It looks like it's in a desert somewhere.
Yeah, so it's about an hour and a half north of Los Angeles. It's right by Palmdale. The actual location is called Lancaster. And we just found it during the scout. I drove there 3 times over 3 weekends until we found this dead end, which is what allowed us to have more freedom.
Wow. And how long did it take to shoot this short film?
It was one full day, and then I did a second day of pickups that was only 4 hours. And that second day, I did all the drone shots and a couple of shots of the car from the exterior. It was a very small crew. It was just me and the DP and the producer. And we tackled it in like 4 hours.
Wow. Well, you had a lot of elements going for you. So the film it's a short film, first of all, so it's not a whole lot of dialogue. You're only looking at 7 minutes of content. Second thing, you're outdoors, so you've got this absolutely wonderful piece of light source that's sending you 10K. So it's a matter of getting your camera right, getting your framing right, making sure they got the lines into play all together, and getting your audio. So you had a couple of things going for you there.
Yep.
Beautiful landscape. What did you write the screenplay with? What package?
With what? Excuse me. What do you mean? With what software?
Yeah.
I use Final Draft. That's what I use for all my screenplays.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm a Final Draft person. What are we looking at here? What are these things?
So those are the meteors. That's the paranormal event that they witness. Those were, of course, added. I added them in post-production via After Effects.
How did you do that?
I have a small background in After Effects, and I think professionals that look at my project file would get a headache because I don't know how I was able to get those seconds to work. But if you go one frame past that, the tracking stops working. So it was interesting. But the biggest challenge here was, what do I want to show that they are seeing, because I didn't know my VFX capabilities. So I had the actors say a bunch of things. I had them talk about a storm, there was like a lot of different. I was even thinking about a spaceship, but then I added a spaceship, and it just didn't look good. And I'm like, no, I will take the story somewhere else. So I decided to go for the meteors, which was what I had in mind when I shot the script.
Yeah. What inspired you to make this story? What to make this film? What inspired you?
You know what? I always had this fascination with explaining scientifically ghosts. I always
Mm,
thought, because I believed in ghosts before, and I'm like, what's the scientific explanation? And then I thought, what if it's people that live in this same Earth, but
right.
it's just like a different dimension, right? So maybe if they
Right.
move a door, the door opens in our world, but we don't see them opening it. And then I thought, what if I'm in the car with someone, with my wife, and she disappears? And I like merge
Right.
those two together, and I'm like, well, if she disappears, maybe she's able to move the stuff in my world. And that's where I started playing with the idea, which honestly is an idea that allows for me to fly in terms of where the story can go. So I actually wrote and shot the short film, but I'm using it as a proof of concept for a feature that I already wrote.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. Um,
Great. So what's the status? What's been happening with this film? How has it been doing with its festival run? And typically, when you go to a festival, that's the question that everybody asks you. So, what's the status of that film, of that
yeah.
story?
So with the festivals, I would say we're one third into our festival circuit, and it's gotten great reception. In terms of the feature, I already have a script written, and I'm
Mhm.
like pitching it around, and I got interest from
Okay.
one producer that is gonna send me an option agreement
Oh,
uh,
wow.
soon. So we'll see. Hopefully, it goes somewhere with that.
Wow. That's congratulations, man. That's exciting. That's exciting news.
Thank you. Yeah, I was very excited when I heard the news, and I'm very excited still. I hope something comes out of that because that's my dream to make my first feature. And I think this presents us as a perfect opportunity because it's a great concept, in my opinion, and it can also be very cheap. And the way I wrote it too,
Yeah.
it's still contained. So shooting the movies, hopefully, is not going to be as expensive.
Let's go. That takes us to a really good question then. In what ways do you hope your film influences or impacts its audience? Are there particular themes or messages that you hope viewers will take away?
So in this short film, since it's so short, I think it's mostly like the experience that the audience has watching with the mix of music, acting, and what happens in the story.
Mhm.
But when I have a medium to elaborate more, which is going to be the feature, I really hope to explore the dynamic of the couple, because it's really going to be a love story that takes place within this context of them being separated. And that is a theme that I want to explore. And it's also a theme of meeting the right person at the wrong time. And I elaborate more in
Wow.
in the feature, but there's a lot of intricacies and conflict between this couple before they start the car drive and after.
Yeah.
So I hope they take that in terms of the theme, and then as a whole, I just hope that people really get entertained. And I feel in a world where we're so saturated with similar concepts, especially
You're right.
with parallel universes, um, I just wanted to offer a different take to something more grounded because I think all I've seen so far is like the Marvel multiverse or everything ever all at once, where they go really like crazy with all the different universes. But I wanted to really sit down and think what would really be like if it happens to me.
Yeah.
um, and that's what I hope people get from it. Like a really new and hopefully fresh take, and a grounded take on a concept that has been explored before.
Well, let me ask you this question. So, what what would you say is the most challenging? What was the most challenging part of making this short film?
Okay, I will say two things because it's hard to choose, but I'll say one in pre-production and one in post-production. And the biggest challenge in pre-production is that I wrote this story at night. I wanted to do it at night because I wanted to lean into the fear of being lost in this
Mm,
darkness and this happening. However, when I did a test shoot, I realized that with my budget, it would have not been possible to shoot it the way I wanted, and it would have
right.
been pretty dark. And then I tried to convince myself by making use of negative space, but I thought it was going to decrease the production value. So I had to choose: do I want something that would look better visually, in my opinion, um,
Mhm.
but might give you less fear, or something that is at night, which won't look as good, but might give you more fear. And then I decided to try to have more production value and then find the fear through white shots, showing them alone in the middle of nowhere, and hopefully, no other cars, no other buildings. I wanted to really try to show the fear that way. And so that was the biggest challenge in pre-production. But in production, it was trying to make it happen with the budget I had, because I wanted to do the shot of the car moving on its own, and renting an actual trailer that pulls a car was over our budget. So we had to get really creative, and we basically did a U-Haul pickup truck, and it pulled our car, and we had no permit. We just went there, and luckily it worked out.
Yeah. So the next project is also going to be like a continuation of the story, or a better version of the story. What is that next project going to be again?
Well, I mean, the next project, I have another short film, which is completely separate from this, that I'm going to shoot next month. But what I'm hoping from this is to do a movie. I just don't know if that's going to be my next project, but it takes longer than a month to do a movie, right? So that's not going to be my next project. But the movie and the script that I wrote that is getting optioned tells what happens in the next 48 hours after the short film.
Yes, and that will be in the dark too, right?
No, actually, that one is day and night. That one, because it's 48 hours, so it's whatever happens.
But it'll have scenes in the dark.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, because that's going to make it even more scary.
I know.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So let me also ask you this then. So looking forward, are we expecting to see more science fiction from you, or you're going to go off into another genre, different tangent? What's the long-term outlook?
So I just realized that I really connect with stories I really like dramas, but given that it's a film medium where you can pretty much do endless things with a lot of imagination, I like the idea of adding like a fantasy element or sci-fi element to those stories, just to change it a little bit and make it like a little bit more elevated. So I think that's my jam. In fact, my next short film is also a drama that has a lot of
mysterious things going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Good sci-fi. Yeah, good. So this is the part where we're going to go deep into science fiction here. What was your favorite sci-fi film of all time?
Oof. Well, I will tell you this: the sci-fi film that really, and it's going to be an unpopular opinion, but the experience of watching this movie in the theater was huge for me, and it was Prometheus. I enjoyed it so much.
Which one?
Prometheus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I really enjoyed that movie, and I have something for Ridley Scott. I think because, for example, Alien, which is from the same universe, but Alien is also a movie that I love, which is horror with sci-fi. So those are definitely big inspirations. And Arrival, but more recently, Arrival. I love Denise, and I actually, I would say, studied or watched a lot of Sicario before this film, and I inspired a lot of the shots on it and the vibe and the tone, and I actually used Sicario's music as a temp music track when I was editing this, and then the composers used that as reference as well.
Okay. No, good. That's a good set of selection. There's actually Aliens, the movie Aliens Part 2 from Alien, but Aliens documentary is coming out soon.
Oh, cool.
And it's got a lot of behind the scenes content, a lot of interviews with the cast. Really good stuff. They're showing the commercials on it.
Oh, cool.
On Instagram. But yeah, that's something worth catching. So here's the last question. Go ahead.
And Romulus is coming this summer, the new Alien movie. So I'm excited about that.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So someone sent you a message here. Great short to Formula One.
Oh, nice.
So last question. Are you a Star Wars or a Star Trek fan?
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Everybody's saying Star Wars tonight.
To be honest with you, I've only seen one Star Trek movie, and it was one of the recent ones. But I don't know enough about the world. And to be honest with you, I saw my first Star Wars movie when I was like 22, so I wouldn't call myself a huge Star Wars fan either.
Oh. So, well, do you have a favorite series in Star Wars?
Yes, actually, I really enjoyed Mandalorian, but my favorite ever was Rogue One, the movie. That was a fantastic movie.
Have you seen Andor yet?
I did, but I preferred Mandalorian.
Okay. All right. Well, awesome. So much, Danny. Thank you so much for coming and meeting up with us this evening. We really appreciate your time, and great short film, Bisected. It's award winning, right?
Yes.
So I think that's fabulous, and we look forward to seeing some new content from you soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks to you for giving me this time. I appreciate it. And thank you for watching the movie and the award. I appreciate it. Hope you have a good night.
Awesome. Stand by.
Okay.